All right, guys. This is the Squeegee Life, and I'm here with Mark Tanner and our guest Thad Eckhoff. What's up, guys? How you guys doing? What it
Things
be
good
like?
here.
Doing well. Excited to be here.
Awesome.
Okay.
So, what did you do today, Thad?
Just got up this morning, talked to you,
Yes.
make sure it's at work. Uh, Went to Bible study, came home, got ready for this. So it's been
It's been all about the podcast today.
pretty
Nice.
much, pretty
Nice.
much. Yeah,
Nice.
I wanted to. How did Chris describe my internet? You told me it was something very derogatory.
Something about some kind of hillbilly or some kind of internet. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Say like Jed Clampett internet or something
Yeah,
like
Jed
that.
Clampett. We've had
Well,
a few of those.
my check came to get some more minutes, so we
Right.
should be good for. Well, you'll know when my minutes run out, and I'll be gone.
Yeah.
If I just
That's
disappear, and you know, it's time to go to Walmart and get another card.
Yeah, swipe the
So-
credit card into the machine.
Yeah, so for the people that don't know, who's Thad Eckhoff? What does Thad Eckhoff do?
Well, you asking me or Mark?
Yeah, you.
No, we're asking. I'll answer. You want me to? Well, he likes peanuts. He's obviously, and he stayed home all day to prepare for this.
Yeah.
After Bible study, of course.
Yeah, yes, after Bible study, of course.
Yeah, that's a hard question. I don't know. I'm only 50. I haven't figured it out yet. I got no clue. I don't know. I do a few things. I pressure washing, window cleaning,
Okay.
exterior cleaning type business. That's kind of getting overshadowed by the huge convention now. That's every year that takes
Huge
more
convention?
of my time.
I've never heard of that.
It's
I mean,
obscure.
Yeah, it's
But
it seems like a
me-
very obscure
Me and the
subject.
12 people that show up have a real good time. Last year it was 10, so if we can get 12 this time, it's going to be pretty
At
good.
least 12 people this year, you think?
Yeah. At least.
So I have a question, Thad. What made you guys determine that this convention was huge? Is it the length, the girth? Exactly. What qualifies this to be huge?
We're like, it's such, this convention is so similar to a Pringles can.
Okay.
That,
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that explains everything for me. I mean, I don't really length and girth. I mean, you gotta love that kind of event, when it's got length and girth. It's something
Nothing like
gotta,
like a veiny Pringles can.
because
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
we named it that because it wasn't. We were just being smart
Being
Alex.
facetious, yeah, just being facetious, and then look what it's turned into, though,
We're like-
man.
Well, because it was growing, and we're like, Chris was like, man, we were on a conference call, and he's like, man, this is getting pretty big. I'm like, oh yeah, it's getting big. It's like, and we were talking about branding because it started out as the PWRA convention.
Mhm.
That the first thing that I kind of did, pretty mostly by myself. Chris was
Okay.
like, conventions are stupid. I'm not even going.
Yeah.
I've been, conventions, and they're a huge waste of time. I'm like, well, but the member, he and I were partners in the PWRA, and I'm like, well, the members want a convention, and I've been doing my New Orleans event for a while, so I kind of had an idea. I thought that I had an idea of how to do it, so we did that. And then the second year, he was like, okay, the WCRA members are really pissed. They want a convention too. I'm like, well, so we did a joint convention, but then we wanted to. I stepped away from the PWRA and was just looking at the convention. So we said, hey, this needs to be. It doesn't need to be an association event. It needs to be an event for everybody. We want to make it so whatever association or no association, you're
Yeah.
well.
You can
felt
welcome at this event. That's cool, man.
Yeah. It's you hear Jersey talk about it being a dog park. It's a neutral meeting ground, and that's really
Right.
that's a great way to describe it. And it's really what we were looking for. So anyway, we were talking about names, and we were just throwing stuff out. And he said, "Oh, we should call it the big convention." And I was like, "Oh, man, that's great. Yeah, we should." And so we were looking at it. He was like, "Oh, that URL is available." I went, wait a minute. Big, if we're going to be jerks about it, the gigantic convention was kind of like most people,
Right.
we need people to spell it.
So huge works, right?
So we're like, hey, the hugeconvention.com is available. He bought it right then. And we're so like, okay, well, I guess that's what we're doing. And so we're trying to grow to the name.
Right.
Yeah. I just bought the web. What is it? The URL name? Is that what I'm trying to make a joke here, but I have no idea. Yeah, I just bought the thick. I just bought the thick and veiny convention. So guys can't have
You'll probably get more attendees.
Yeah.
Especially from you'll have a lot of window cleaners there, not the pressure washers so much.
Yeah. So Thad, what is, to those of us who have not been to this convention, what are some of the offerings that you guys serve up?
Well, like I said, I had done my event in New Orleans for a few years, and it was just about business. It was not about how to do work. I was not interested. The first couple of events, other people's events I went to, they were how to do work. It was like a drive halfway across the country to hear somebody talk about how to, hook up a downstream or something stupid, and was not happy about that. And I tried to get other people to put on an event that was just about building a business, and nobody would do it, so I had to. So I'd done that small event, just like a cozy, exclusive, in a historic house in the French Quarter. Just very nice thing. And we just took that on a larger scale. So what's different about Huge is there are not going to be any how-to classes there. There's some the day before put on by different companies. Mm-hmm. Those are just co-located events. We're not, all we do is provide the space. But the convention itself is just strictly how to run whatever your version of a successful business is. So we give you the tools, whether you want to be a super profitable part-time owner-operator or you want to run 20 trucks, 40, 60, whatever.
Wow. And it's got a trade show attached to it, right? So you can...
It does.
Yeah, cool.
So let me ask you, if over the years, it's obvious that the convention has grown. Do you guys, just an opinion, because I know IWCA convention has shrunk every time I've been in the last few years. Do you guys attribute the fact that people are, spending their money at your convention because you offer something different than the IWCA, or is it just the cost difference between the IWCA and you guys?
I don't think that we're a direct competition. What they do is so much different than what we do. Like, they're very niche and specialized, and it is very much for the org and the org's members. It's really, well, I mean, other people can come, pay a lot more money. If you're not a member, you can come, but it's for IWCA members, and I think that their membership has dwindled, and that's why they're
less.
Yeah, and hopefully they're turning that around. I encourage. I don't see us as being in competition.
Right.
At all.
Right.
I mean, I finally talked them into having a booth at the Huge this year. I know enough of the board members now from way back that I had people that I can call up and talk to. I didn't have to go through middleman or whatever.
Right.
And hopefully they'll come, and talking to a whole lot of window cleaners is going to, I think, will help them kind of define what direction they want to go in and attract more people, and hopefully it'll be great for them. I hope there's not a bunch of members. It's going to be the new board, the new guys that are on there. They've
we've got Peter Artusa in the mix now, so that's like an injection of some positive energy and some some vibrancy to it there, because Peter seems like to be a pretty energetic guy, pretty passionate too. So they got that going for him for sure.
He's progressive, and he's progressive. He's not tied into being I'm one of the old guard and the things have to be the same that they've always been. Can't change.
Right.
Him, George. I met George at my New Orleans event. He came to several of those. So I've known George probably 10 years now. I mean, yeah, I feel like I've watched him grow up.
So you're
I hope he doesn't the wrong way, but I
so
mean, when I met him, he was
are you super old? How old are you? Thad?
50.
Oh, that's not shit, man. You're not even. You're just rounding second, right? I mean,
Thanks, I appreciate that. But like with George, when I first met him, he was he was really young and he was just getting his business started. He just had all these really big ideas, and it's pretty awesome to see him, see those coming into fruition. So he's a serious guy. He takes education very seriously. He invested himself in his company. He's on the board now. Kurt Spencer, I met through the Huge. I got to know him pretty well, and he's got some good ideas, and so I think they're going to turn things around over there.
I would assume that you see some of those guys. I mean, at the convention themselves, right? I mean, So I mean, it should be all like everything should be as intermingled as possible. I think So that's
they've all been to. I don't think George has missed a Huge, and I know that.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I think, and then Pete and Kurt have both been to several. I know Kurt's been to the last few because we hung out, and I don't think Peter was in Atlanta, but he's been to some of the other ones. So, yeah.
H2O Pro Wash would like to know, Thad, do you have to buy a ticket just to look around at the trade show booths?
Yes,
you do have to buy a ticket. Okay. Yes, you do have to buy a ticket. Glad we could answer that question for you. What I would like to know is, enough of this bullshit. I want to know if you believe in Bigfoot or not, because you're from Mississippi, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
So there should be swamp apes down there.
Well,
apes.
It's not. Yeah, a little south of me, there's the Honey Island monster, and just across the line. Yeah. So it's basically Bigfoot in the swamp, and then if you go a little further west of that, there's a Rougarou. Don't let the Rougarou catch you. But here not so much. No.
Not so many big feats around where you're at.
Well, it's a bunch of rednecks with lots of guns.
If there was one, he would probably be dead by now.
Because they'll hunt, and like in addition to like legit hunters, there's like some of these poachers that they're going around at night with headlights or night vision. They're trespassing everywhere. They're going to the national forest. Like if there was any sort of anything bigger than a squirrel, at least one person has shot one, legally or not. So, I do not. Is there one in the Pacific Northwest? I don't know. I haven't been there. But I can tell you there's not one in South Mississippi because somebody would have piled him up. Right.
I respect that answer. You seem like a man with logic. Seth Beyer says he calls his package the Swamp Ape too, so that's pretty cool.
That's because it stinks. Hey, Thad, I see some form of skin behind you. Yeah. Would that be from like a swamp donkey or something?
Yes, some people call him that. Yeah, that's a deer. That's a deer. And my daughter, my daughter tanned the hide for me.
That's cool.
That's cool. That's cool.
I mean, I can't really say much. My family has deer heads hanging on the wall, so
there it is. I mean, she did a few of them for me, but then finally we're like, okay, we got enough tan deer hides here. Let's not, I mean, I hate to waste anything, but like,
right?
Really, how many tan deer hides do you honestly need?
This is my question to you. If you've got a bunch of tan deer hides, do you have a deer hide coat, like a long 3/4 length coat?
Yeah, no, never mind the coat. Let's make a whole deer uniform.
Slipping, dude. Yeah.
I want a uniform.
It's just like the little mankini. Well, it's a front flap.
Loincloth.
It's like
just a loincloth. That's cool.
Yeah, that's what I wear to the crick.
That's so good. The crick.
Yeah, you jump off the fall and it's like all the way down. Hello.
Oh my God, that's so good. The crick. I don't know why that made me laugh so hard, but it was really good.
So how is your market for window cleaning? Is it primarily is your business geared towards commercial or residential or both?
residential.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of upper end residential. It's a real small market here. I mean, I got to travel to work. I live like real in the boonies. I'm about 15 minutes from town.
Rural.
You know,
He
post
is
office
rural.
and a grocery store.
Yeah.
And town is a thriving metropolis of 321 people.
Oh,
Wow.
well, that's a lot of people.
Yeah. Pretty awesome.
What's
Hey,
the name
don't
of-
try to go through there at about 4:30 because the traffic is nuts.
Yeah.
You and the garbage man are on the main street at the same time. Is that what it is?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's cool.
But and then we do most of our work in a town called Hattiesburg. It's a small college town.
Okay.
I got a couple of universities there, a couple of big hospitals, and so that's where we mostly work.
What I mean, you got to enjoy it. I mean, you enjoy the small town. I mean, you got to, right? I mean, you probably know everybody or just about everybody, right? That's gotta be cool.
Not really.
Are you a recluse? Like you stay out on your? Yeah. Okay.
Well, where I live now, in Covington County, like I've only lived out here for about 10 years, so I'm still that new guy they're not quite sure about yet. You have to be second generation before they're like kind of know you.
Right.
And I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't move out here to
talk to people.
Yeah, a lot of people. Talk to people, see one.
Right.
Yeah, I've become more of a recluse as a
I don't know. This Thad might be second creepiest guy on the show. He's got dead animals hanging on the wall.
Yeah.
Only thing he doesn't have is a gun or a sword or a dagger hanging on the wall like Henry Dreest. You guys are like neck and neck. I mean, just for just dead animal skins alone.
Yeah, I don't hang guns on the wall. I do have one pretty much.
Within
I don't have any
at
guns.
all times. I don't have any guns.
I don't have any guns. I've got a 9-iron. That's it.
Right, my 9-iron. That's it. That's
all.
Smart. It's always smart to do that.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't want to be completely defenseless. So
that.
Go ahead.
Definitely no guns.
That, how long have you been in business, and how long have you been cleaning windows?
Let's see. Started in 2004 working for somebody else in Louisiana after I had left my corporate job. And then Katrina came in 2005 and ended up moving up here a little bit after that. I started it in the New Orleans area as a janitorial business. So I'd done that when I was a kid. I knew I wanted to do some kind of service business. I did not want to go sit in an office anymore. So I started the janitorial business, but then from there got into a friend of mine had a window cleaning business, and he was like, "Hey man, I need some help. You know, need somebody I can trust."
Yeah.
It was funny because he had left a job at a bank to start a window cleaning business. You know. At the time, I told my wife, I'm like, "Oh man, did you hear about that? Oh my God, what is his wife and kids gonna do? It's so terrible." You know, I thought he was like having a full-on breakdown. Right. He was making more money cleaning windows than he ever did at the.
People see it as a menial source of income, but I mean, you can make it very profitable if you put the right amount of effort into it.
Well, you know, the funny thing is I run into people, like I'm sure we've all run into people working, and it's usually an older guy, and he'll come up and he'll never say he's a window cleaner. He'll say, "I knew this guy one time years ago. Oh my God, he made so much money doing what you do." You know, everybody knows someone that made a lot of money. I've yet to meet that man yet. You know, I mean, it's been good to me and my family, but at the same time, you know, the benefits are what you make of it. The freedom. Yeah. You know, and all that. He liked to be outside and talking with people and watching it grow, you know. But like my dad used to say, he goes, you know, you learn how to wash windows, you'll probably never be a very wealthy man, but you can work anywhere you want. You can travel cross country and get a job, you know, doing what you do.
That's true.
You know.
That's true. I ended up getting more into the pressure washing side of things, but we still do windows, but my windows are pretty much relegated now to water-fed pole after a house wash, exterior only. Don't shoot me, but that's just kind of where that's kind of where I ended up. Just because there's a lot more of a market for that here than just straight window cleaning, and I could charge a lot. And I could charge a lot more too. You can build an empire. I mean, you can really make, if you're in the right market and structure things the right way, you can make a lot of money. Cleaning windows, washing stuff. You can make a lot of money owning a company that does those things. You can't make you can make a ton of money doing it yourself. But if you own a company that does those things, you can make a whole lot of money. But that was not ever my focus. So
Carl Robinson would like to know why you like to pose in front of gay bars.
Why wouldn't I? Why doesn't he?
Yeah, that's what. I mean, if you want to have fun, go to a gay bar because it's fun. I go there every Friday and Saturday night. I have a great time every time.
Well, that's where we met.
Me, Mark, and Richie went. We had a great time. It was
we went to what was it called, the Rusty Bunghole?
Yeah.
I know what Carl's talking about. Carl's been obsessed about this picture ever since it got published. That's I guess it's the second time that I hung out with Chris. The second time he came down to my New Orleans event, and the first time that I met Alex, and it was basically even though I just met Alex, it was still like family. I mean, we just all really hit it off, and so we were out, seeing the sights, having some refreshments during the day, and that we were. I can't remember if we went in Clover Grill or we were just walking by Clover Grill, which is a whole different story from before. but I told somebody was there. I'm like, hey, and they didn't know. I'm like, hey, let's get a picture together. Right. Like, where at? And it's like, oh yeah, come over here and let's get. And I can't remember who took. I told them make sure to get the sign in there. So there's a picture of the three of us like all hugged up in front of United States. So
that's cool.
You can see it.
Cool. Was that like that was your plan? It was to get the whole
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. They did realize that, what those guys on the back were doing. But yeah, so
I can tell you, I can appreciate that spirit. I can appreciate that spirit because, like, when we all get together, it's kind of the same thing. You know what I mean? We're just having fun, and it's cool that knowing what you guys do, like the huge convention, putting on that big ass event for all of these power washers and window cleaners and all of that stuff. That's super awesome. But to know that you guys have so much fun together while doing that makes it even cooler. You know what I mean? That goes to show the energy of the energy of the huge convention, and you guys that are behind it. That's pretty kick ass. Thad's face is now up. He is frozen.
He's looking at himself in the gay bar picture. Can you draw on his face? Can you draw on his face?
I wish we could do that live. Yeah. You guys that are addressing the Mark thing or the Tim thing, Mark can. They're Thad's back.
Yeah.
The Tim thing, Tim will be back when he feels like it, guys. Go ahead.
I don't know where I lagged out, but I was saying like we weren't doing any business together then. We had no Chris and Alex had just started WCR, but it was a side. It was very much like a side business for them. They were still all in at Alton County.
Right.
I was doing my New Orleans event. But the only reason I did that was because I wanted to learn how to be super efficient and profitable and stress free in my business. And nobody else would have that event, so I had it. I happened to live in a cool place, and so I had it in the French Quarter and got like really super knowledgeable, cool people to come to me and talk about what they were doing. So really, it was just all set up for me to get a bunch of knowledge for myself. It just turned out that other people benefited from it. But that was way before. We did any sort of business together. We just enjoyed hanging out. We had fun.
How many years has this been going on? The huge convention.
13 was the first one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, 2013 was the first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you've got 6 under your belt? Yeah. Yeah, no, 5.
Okay.
5. It'll be 6. Whatever,
Let's see,
man.
13,
We can count.
14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So yeah, we've done 6. This will be 7.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
And where's next year's going to be? Do you have plans yet, or it's too early
Is
to
it
tell?
too early to tell?
Yeah,
Is it still top
we announced
secret?
that in the general session at the one this year.
Okay.
Oh.
Now,
We'll say it won't be any further west. Like, this is the furthest west we've ever been and probably ever will go. And guys in the Midwest have been screaming for an event for years. Everyone
Right.
started doing it. People, you come here. We're scared to fly. You know, they wanted
Scared to
they've
fly.
been wanting it. And, they've been wanting.
Well, I can identify with I'm scared to fly because I'm also scared to fly.
A lot of the Midwestern boys, they're like, I'm not buying 2 seats for everybody in my family. So
That's so good.
you can drive the Winnebago to this one. So yeah, I mean, no joke.
Awesome.
This is, you know, it was. We really went out on a limb. I mean, really rolled the dice to have it. Or anyway, it seems to be working out very well. We're going to have. It's going to grow again. But for you people in the Midwest, man, you've been, anybody who's ever said, "Oh, if you had one,"
This
it's
is
now.
this is their
This is
opportunity.
it.
This
Yeah,
is their
and
opportunity to
come
get
on,
down with the getting it down. Philip Alexander said he loved it in Washington in 2013. Said it was amazing.
Yeah, after I made Phil put his shoes on and stop running around to all the other booths. I'm like, Phil, you've got to stop. He's going to every other booth that had water-fed poles. I'm like, Phil, you got to put shoes on, stay in your boots.
Put your shoes That's great.
Man.
That
This is
sounds
not-
like Philip.
That's what he lived. I think he still lived in Tennessee then. And I'm like, yeah.
I traded my shoes for another pole.
Oh.
A pole.
Branson
Did you see
Landing
Phil's
is really
video
cool.
today?
I was there last
Did you
weekend.
see
Go
the
ahead.
video that he?
Yeah.
That was good. Phil, good job, man. Good for you. You're. I think Phil's growing up finally. But I will say, did you see what the background looked like? Did you notice behind him?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Again,
Phil's
holes and everything.
You've never. We had him on the podcast, and it was the same thing. And when he would move his chair, they would fucking fall down. Like, ding, ding, ding,
It's just like one of his videos. He opens
Yeah.
up the back of the van and everything's laying on the ground. It's hilarious.
Instead of Game of Thrones, it's Game of Pose.
Yeah.
They're not all just gonna fall
That's
over.
what he should do. He should make a carbon fiber throne out of poles and sit on it. He
would
should
fall apart,
definitely
baby.
the
Yeah.
Mad King, Philip Alexander. These are all my pose.
So he was gonna come. I'm like, Phil, look, man.
He said a boy can't have any fun in Arizona. Well, that's great. So, Thad's frozen again. We'll wait for Thad to catch up.
Oh man, got that bad internet signal.
Yeah. Oh man. There he's back.
For some
I can
reason,
hear him.
For some reason, my MacBook started looking for a different signal. Anyway, but what I was saying was, when Phil was like, "Hey, I want to, can I come?" Because he'd been banned from everything. I don't know how many times I banned him from WCR. He would create another user count.
Yeah, he's got 100 profiles.
Again.
I'm friends with all of his profiles. Like, he keeps sending me friend requests. Like, once every couple of months, I get a new friend request. I'm like, Philip, I don't need all of these. Just give me one, brother. Jersey wants to know what is behind that. Is that water damage and black mold?
Why don't you tell Jersey hey Jersey, why don't you tune in on time? We're not backtracking just
Right.
for your slow blood,
Just for
okay?
you,
We've
yeah.
moved past that now. You missed. Watch it. Yeah, watch it on YouTube or listen to the
Yes,
podcast
Tim's
or get
internet.
all will be answered, my friend. I told Phil, you still there? Okay.
Yeah,
So
we're
I feel
still
like,
here.
look, man,
You're
I've
just
seen you.
froze.
Yeah, he's still talking, but he's froze up.
Yeah, we can hear you talk, but we just can't see your
Yeah.
picture.
I'm like, look, man, you got to have a decent looking booth. You can't back your van up and just dump a giant pile of poles in the booth like I've seen you do at IWCA. He promised and he meant to. He really did. But I go there and it's just like a garage sale of pole, like all these parts. He's like, well, I had these extra parts and I bought them and these sections and you can fit it onto this pole. And I'm like, okay, Phil. Like,
I've been trying to work with Philip. Like he's working on his website. You know, I told him what you need to do is just whatever pole, like his Excalibur pole and his high mod pole, just get them together. Make that kind of pole. You don't need your trap. You have 3 poles. Put it on your website. Sell it. That's all you need to do.
By the time he gets them on the website, he'll be like 3 versions.
Yeah.
Past.
Yeah,
And hopefully he'll listen to you because he definitely did not listen to me because Chris almost had me conned into like buying in and getting. I did try to give him some advice though because I got a soft spot for Phil. I really do. He drives me insane sometimes, but I definitely got a soft spot for him. I mean, I know him in person. You know, like I've spent time with him. I know he's a good person. He just gets antsy and I'd like to like shoot him with a tranquilizer dart.
just to slow him down a little bit. You know what I mean? That's what I'm always like, listen, just take a second, just slow down a minute and listen to what I'm saying to you. You know what I mean? And he's taken some of my advice. You know, I'm trying to do my best to help him because he's a good dude. You know what I mean? I like good people, but he can be. I do understand people's. I completely get their frustration with it. What's that?
I threatened to break his fingers. So
stop typing.
No typing.
Yeah. That's great.
So it looks like a lot of people have tried to aim him in the direction, but I think between Jason and you, TJ, you might have him, contained a bit. I mean,
a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, he that video he posted earlier, he shot it and then sent it to me a messenger, and he's like, "Do you think I should post this?" And I'm like, "Yeah." You should apologize. I mean, the dude kind of took a little heat. I know I was coming at his throat, but that was for other things, not so much the likeness, but just some of the shit that was said. It kind of upset me. You know what I mean? I kind of feel like, man, why are you talking to my grandpa like that, dog?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why are you talking to grandpa like that, homie?
Yeah.
So of course I took immediate offense. I was just like, man, what the fuck, bro? It's an old ass dude, man.
Yeah.
But it's because people tend to kick him when he's down, man. There's a lot of dudes that are super duper disrespectful. You just gotta remember that he's an older man. He's been around for a hot minute. You know what I mean? And he's got a touch of ADHD. He can't help himself. You know what I mean? Sometimes,
sometimes it's just better to shut up and shut your mouth. And if you don't, just don't do business with the guy if you don't like him. You know what I'm saying? Right. Move on. You don't have to throw rocks at someone. And like you said, they wait until someone's in a little weakened state and then they pounce, and that's not right. I mean, that's the nature of this business, though.
I'll take exceptions to that rule, and that is Perry. I will shit on Perry for the rest of his life. I can't stand that dude.
Yeah. We have the 48-hour return video policy. You put up a video within 40 hours, we're gonna make it look like shit.
Yeah, we have a policy around here, and it's we're not allowed to do stupid shit, or we're gonna talk about it. That's the policy. We're gonna make fun of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sounds like y'all got the full. Experience. I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, dude, we've been around the world in 80 days, man. We've done it all. You know what I mean? We've got a touch of it all. I don't think the two are on the same level. You know what I mean? One is way worse than the other, but at least there's a little bit of what's up, Ron Musgrave. What's up, Ron?
Tell Thad he needs that fiber.
Yeah, tell Thad he needs fiber. Come to my 3-story parking garage class. It's May 18th. We're going to do workshops on sidewalks.
Yeah. I have no idea who you're mocking, but it sounds hilarious.
That would be Ron Musgraves.
we were mocking Ron.
Who?
Ron Musgrave. Ron Musgraves. Casper Shoring, Superior Services LLC.
Wait a minute. You're telling me, Thad, you don't know who I am? I am the king of sidewalk and parking garage cleaning.
Yeah.
Okay, if there's a parking garage being cleaned, it went through me.
Okay.
He says, okay. I wish your camera worked so we could see you.
Hey, turn your camera. There you go.
Yeah!
It keeps turning off. I don't know.
You did a great job, man. You did a great job getting it to work again.
I turned it off. I think. Let me put the cursor on there so that stays up.
What's up, window cleaning history? How are you? Yeah. Does anyone have any questions for Thad or Mark Tanner?
I didn't hear what you said about Casper. What was that about?
I said Casper's an awesome-ass dude, man. Have you ever had the chance to meet Casper in person?
I have.
He's such a sweet guy.
He was at the Huge years ago.
Okay.
And then he wasn't for the last couple, with the, I guess he had, other business arrangements. He had kind of some exclusives, so it didn't work out. But no, Casper's going to be at the Huge this year. He is he's a badge sponsor. Thank you, Casper. We appreciate that.
Awesome.
Didn't work out. I think that was pretty fucked up real quick. But, Didn't take that long.
I don't know. I'm happy that but yeah,
we're tap dancing. We're tap dancing. We're right on the line.
Yeah.
Mark Tanner.
Hey, man.
Well, no,
let it rip.
Yeah. Right. Well, I can tell you now, we're gonna have Casper on the show Wednesday. Wednesday is Casper show. We're gonna do a Casper show. It's gonna be a fucking amazing.
Couldn't make it, so you're like, okay, Casper can't make it. I guess.
No, that is not what happened. I just asked you. I was just confirming. I was like, if you can't, maybe I can ask Casper.
Hey, you're not kind of still really thinking about doing the show, are you? Because if you got any hesitancy at all, we really on there instead.
That's not true, man.
If you send me $100.
Well, listen, I don't like the picture that you're painting. I don't like the crayon you're using or anything. You're describing it real simple like, and I don't like it. Is the Huge convention better attended this year due to Branson location? Do you think this is the convention not to miss because it's in Branson?
It's not the convention not to miss because it's in Branson, even though the location is awesome. It's just we're just going to take over that whole Branson Landing waterfront area, all that new section down there. I mean, we got the whole convention center and both hotels, so. We're going to take over the place. That's not why it's a no miss. It's because it gets better every year.
And that question was from your. He says you guys you're his people is Mike Nichols. Big Squeegee said that was his question to you.
Oh,
okay. He's the one to ask that question.
So it's not a not miss because it's in Branson. But it is I would not recommend missing it. You're going to hate it if you do. I mean, like if you know ahead of time, if I don't do this thing, then I'm going to really hate myself for a year. Why go through the pain?
Just
go. You want to just go.
Just go.
Yeah, and yes, it does grow every year. And by quite a bit. It always grows a little bit. Like I think I'm being really aggressive by planning for it to be a certain amount bigger, and it always passes that. We end up out of rooms, out of space, turning people away. It happens every year, and it's not planned that way. We don't design it that way. It's just because it keeps getting bigger.
I think it's awesome that you guys are going to have 2020's huge convention here in Sandusky at Kalahari. I think that's great. You're only going to be able to invite like 50 people, but it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be the right 50 though. That's
going to be. Yeah, I'm not going to be one of those, even though that's my time. I'm going to be. I'm going to be standing on a ladder looking through a window. Is how I'm going to attend.
You can lobby crash until security figures out that you don't have a badge. So just get in there, work fast,
do your thing. That's great.
So,
That's great.
but
So,
I mean, it grows. So he asked about it growing, and so we planned on 750 last year because those was in New Orleans. We had over 1,000, so planned
awesome.
on I was thinking, okay, well maybe we can do 1,000 again. It's a we're completely different venue, different setup, and ticket sales are consistently 46% ahead of last year. So it looks like we're going to run out of space and rooms again.
Man, that's crazy. That's cool though. That's
Well,
cool.
most of the people who come keep coming. So that
Right.
we don't have a lot of attrition, and then the people come even, and they benefit from it, and then they tell their buddies, "Y'all are stupid. You should have come." And so those
You
people
guys
come.
are you guys gonna have a rally over to Grandview?
Yeah. Grandview.
Like a gay pride rally, a big march over to the Grandview store and camp out in the parking lot. There's a cool bar there. There's a
You can.
hardware store
Yeah, you
right
can.
there.
Yep.
There's a nice mall, but it's behind the nice mall, right?
Yeah,
It's in the shithole. Yeah,
it's the shitty mall behind the nice mall, but it's still
yeah.
Oh,
it's awesome.
you're talking about 2020 now.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Hey man,
No, we got to get that done before 2020. That shit ain't gonna be there in 2020.
The cheapest store will be closed within months, sir. So we need to get this shit done immediately.
we're thinking we're going to do like some of the other shows. So we're going to have demos in the deserted parking lot of the abandoned mall. That's we're pretty excited about that. Other people try that, but I think we can really do it right.
Yeah, if you guys check the dumpster on the right day, you might find some poles back there.
Right. Oh boy. So Thad, what do you do in your spare time? I mean, what do you like to do when it's not the huge convention, it's not window cleaning and running a business and pressure washing, and what does Thad do in his spare time? What do you like to do, Thad?
Redneck stuff.
Oh, okay. You don't have any cool hobbies?
Hunting, fishing, shooting, play guitar, sing. I haven't been doing enough of that. My wife is like, you gotta start playing guitar more. That makes me a lot more. If I do some creative stuff like that, like not attached to business or anything else, it helps a lot. Centers me. So
Yeah.
yeah, and I haven't really been doing that. So I dug out some guitars and set up some amps.
So you're like, I'm gonna get into this gay bars. So you're Carl Robinson, man.
Look,
Jesus.
Carl, man. You're not getting-
Jesus, man. Well, that's cool. I wish I don't play an instrument, but I can appreciate that though. I used to play the drums a little bit. I've always wanted to play the guitar, but it's a daunting task.
Just start with one string and work up from there.
Start home.
It's about the journey. Hey, man, when my kids were little, I'd take them to the French Quarter on Sunday afternoons. You take your kids to the French Quarter? I'm like, yeah, I did. We'd go, which is not like the people that you would see when I do my event. You'd have these kids pushing a baby stroller down Bourbon Street at 11 o'clock on a Saturday night, like, walk faster, walk faster.
Yeah.
Not that. But I would take them to Royal Street, and all the street musicians would all be out there playing, and we'd go and we'd hang out and we'd eat and we'd listen to the street musicians. And man, there's this old guy. He had a 2-string guitar.
A 2-string guitar.
That's how many he had left.
Yeah. But I bet he could play.
Left.
Yeah.
Oh, he was tearing it up, man. It was awesome. We stood there and listened for a while, and I gave all my kids a bill. I'm like, here you go, give that man some money. You're like, what? I'm like, that. Yeah, he earned his money. That's his money. He earned it. Go give it to him. I mean, they did that a lot. Tip off. They would pay the street musicians because they were working. And they was
I just
great.
watched. I can't remember whether it was Netflix or HBO or Hulu or what it was at, but it was a documentary about this street musician called Mr. Satan, and something else. I don't know, but he's used to play guitar and a couple of hi hat cymbals at the same time and sing the blues. And then he had a young white kid that used to play harmonica with him, and then it turned into like a traveling act. And street musicians are really good, man. Yeah, some of the best musicians I've heard are street musicians.
Well, have you ever seen that video? Everybody, it's been all over Facebook, where the guy takes like a piece of barnwood and he puts some pickups on it, turns it into a guitar, and then he plays it with a slide. And the guy said, you can tell he's an amazing guitar player. You could put anything in his hands and he could play it. Right. But he calls the guitar like the Barnacaster 2019, and he just grabs an old socket and he's just jamming on this thing. I mean, it's amazing.
That's not White. Is that?
I don't know. It's an old hillbilly looking dude, but he can play.
Okay, because in It Might Get Loud, which is one of my favorite documentaries. I like documentaries. I'm sorry, but
I'm
that's one of my favorite.
Documentary guy too. I can't get enough of them.
So It Might Get Loud is Jimmy Page, The Edge, and Jack White getting together and talking about guitars.
No kidding.
Stuff like that. Yeah, and there's this one part where there's this like fantasy scene or whatever where Jack White is driving through the country with little Jack White, like it's himself when he was 10.
Yeah.
And he takes him out in the middle of nowhere, and they're like banging on this old piano, and he has a guitar, and he's like, just like making the kid, like stomp on the guitar, stomp on it, make it squeak, Yeah. And then he takes a piece of wood and like, hammer nails pickups onto a piece of wood and stretches stuff across it, and he's playing.
Yeah, that's the dude. Is that the dude from the
White?
The White Stripes. Yeah. That dude's a hell of a fucking musician, man.
Yeah, it was cool because good and well that like when they were coming up, all those people, like they definitely talked a lot of crap about each other. I just know that. Mm-hmm. Like when I know, there's Jimmy Page. I mean, he was the rock god. He was the ultimate guitar player. Right. And then the Edge came along, and all he's doing is playing through delay effects. Basically he's playing like three notes. But the machinery is making it do all this crazy stuff. Jimmy Page was like, why don't the guy learn how to play guitar? He gave him play a solo. And the Edge was like, you old fart, nobody cares about 10-minute guitar solos. We're doing things here.
Right.
And then, Jack White comes along, and he's more, like goes like way back blues, but with a punk edge. And he's probably looking like, oh, those two rich guys. And,
Yeah.
And then like they all came full circle, and they're sitting there and they're talking guitar, and they end up like playing together, and everybody kind of, I'm not saying it's like a happy ending type thing, but they didn't, they weren't fist fighting. It was like, oh, okay, we're all very accomplished musicians that approach things wildly different.
I think
different angles.
It's a good time. Interested in rock music, especially the right guitar, you should check it out.
There's something about music. I just it's freeing, man. Music is like describe Jennifer, my wife. She's an audiophile. That's her and her father are always spinning records. It's music. You could see old pictures. Her dad gave her this stack of old pictures, and in it, every photo has got a piano in the background or someone holding a musical instrument. It's just. And I said that's where you get it from. It's all through your family. You don't realize it. 99% of the time she's listening to music. It's not TV, it's music. So there's something about. I just dig music. It's just something relaxing about it. So you get lost. Music can take you to a certain time and a certain place, no matter how old you are. Take you right back to your childhood. You know what I mean? Or like sitting on the front porch with Mama and Papa. There's certain songs that will get you. You know what I mean? That'll get you there. That's what I like about music. That's how I use it, anyways. So I wish I was a little more talented and I could play some instruments. But the drum set. I mean, I could probably play the drums if I went out and bought a drum set. I could probably still do a little bit, and I could probably get better after a while. Yeah, I should. I want to introduce. What's that?
Like a cocktail set, just to so you don't have to dedicate a whole room to it. But,
right. Right, and something I could put over here, right in front of the window.
I'm going to get a piano, and I'm going to get a stand-up cocktail drum set. I can play the drums. I can't, or I used to be able to play the drums. I don't know if I still can or not.
Right.
I never learned piano. I mean, I can fool around on the piano, but I don't, Yeah,
Right.
I'm
I'm trying to get my
something
son
to look
into.
on.
He wants to play a keyboard though, and I don't know if it's because it makes fart sounds or he just really wants to play the keyboard. I haven't.
Well,
We haven't
even if
figured that
it's
out now.
probably because it'll make heart sounds, but
Right.
if it's in him, it sounds like it probably would be. Then he'll start, he'll
Yeah.
start making music.
Right. Right.
I,
My
I
daughter's my daughter's learning how to play the bass guitar, so I've got my.
nice.
So that's cool. I
Yeah,
bought
that's
her a nice Ibanez bass for Christmas, so
cool.
she's ready to go.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
you should definitely get it, and and give them lessons. Like I'm self-taught on everything, and that's
Hmm.
just going back. I really wish that I'd had the opportunity to take lessons. That would have
Well,
I
he's
would be a lot
seven
better
years
musician.
old, so it's kind of like hard to get to nail him down to something. And I don't want to put something in his hands and be like, "Here, do this." I would rather him
Yeah,
like I would like to
not,
do this. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see.
uh, he'll start, and then he'd be like, "This sucks. I'm tired of. I don't want to do lessons anymore." So I would recommend making him commit to a certain amount of time before you start doing it.
Right.
Don't give him that because
Maybe I
it
should
once
just go out and buy him maybe I should just go out and buy a really nice guitar and just let it sit here, and then maybe he'll just want to pick it up, right? I mean, a musical instrument's not going to lose its value. It's always going to be a musical instrument, you
that's
know.
true.
So
So you say you like music? What kind of music do you listen to?
I listen to everything. No, yeah, I listen to everything from country music to hip hop. I listen to everything. There's not one thing that I don't listen to. I like Frank Sinatra. I like Tupac. You know what I'm saying? I like Waylon Jennings, and I like Metallica. I'm all over the place. I'm just all over the place. So it's not. I can't really narrow it down. And Mark, if you ask Mark, he's gonna say Leonard Skinner because he's from Florida. You.
I like bluesy Southern rock. I like blues. I
Yeah, I
like
like blues too.
older country. I don't like new country. To me is pop. I like there's a
like really, 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 really not good pop.
Yes.
yeah, it's
I would
horrible. It's
totally
horrible,
agree.
but there's a lot of underground country guys out now that are just amazing. That
I
I
like
like to
Five
listen
Finger
to.
Death Punch too. They're awesome.
But I mean,
Are you serious?
not.
No, Jersey told me to say that.
Jersey loves Five Finger Death Punch so hard. He gave up. He almost gave up Creed for Five Finger
Creed.
Death Punch. Hey, they were almost as. No, I'm not gonna bust Jersey. I'm sorry, Mark. Don't interrupt Mark. He's talking about his music, man.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I got a feeling that Jersey likes Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
He looks like a Bon
Oh, no,
Jovi guy.
He'll tell you quickly that's way too old for him. That's old guy
Yeah.
Oh,
music.
okay.
He likes the. Yeah.
See, about as far in that direction I go is probably Pantera. That's probably where I stop right there. I don't do the Five Finger Death Punches or nothing like that.
They're
Pantera's
not
where
in
it
the
stops.
universe.
Huh? Well, hey, listen, Dimebag Darrell and his brother, the drummer, dude, those guys were awesome, man.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys.
I mean,
Vinnie
as
Paul
messed
was a
up
beast.
And as messed up and a crappy a human being as Phil is, I mean,
Right.
he's an absolutely insane, amazing singer. Like,
Yeah, I like. He was in that band Down. Their very first album, Nola, is one of my favorite albums. I love that album. Super awesome. The dude could sing. I'm a huge Alice in Chains fan too. I like those different,
Oh,
those
yeah.
weird voices. Lane Staley was the shit. You know what I mean? So,
they're definitely top 5, maybe top 3 for me.
But I mean, no match for Five Finger Death Punch. But they're pushing it though, right? They're close to that good.
Neck and
That's
neck.
the worst fucking music ever, dude. I'm just saying, man. A lot of that shit is really bad, dude. I'm just not really good with it. I like musicianship. You know what I mean? I like guys that like to get down with the getting it down. That shit is just like too much for me, man. It's just too. I don't get into
My buddy sent me a video the other day. He went to see him and his wife went to see Aaron Lewis, and halfway through the show, Aaron Lewis just grabs a stool. The band walks off, and he'll play a guitar for a half hour, just go through like, a melody of music. And I always like someone that can just grab a guitar, sit down on a stool, and entertain the shit out of you, and doesn't need a whole giant band behind him. I mean, that is so much talent.
We seen them in
That's-
the
yeah.
Blossom, and they it was Monster Magnet and Stained and Deftones and Tantric.
You know, yeah, I know all those tantric.
Jennifer
that was
showed
the
her
band.
boobs, which was absolutely ridiculous.
Nice. Hopefully not for tantric.
No, it was for Aaron Lewis. Oh my God, he's so dreamy.
You know, Chris Lamborghini sings for Deftones, right?
Does he really?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that. Deftones, Korn, and Ozzy was one of the best shows. The Retirement Sucks tour at the Toledo Sports Arena, that was rad mobile, dude. That was before Korn and Deftones were, like, anybody knew who they were, and everybody was there to see Ozzy, but the first two bands kicked ass, man. They did awesome. Ozzy was like on another planet, man. he moved on stage like this. Like he would like it was just like I don't even know how this dude is standing. They just like brought him outside and put a kickstand on him. You know what I mean? Now we're going full circle.
See, even Ozzy needs a kickstand. Come on.
Yes.
I was fortunate. I knew Deftones were from way back because I was living in the New Orleans area, and they had an actual alternative station back then.
Mm-hmm.
So there were a lot of bands that broke. That they broke from their very first, like Queens of the Stone Age.
That's a kick-ass band.
When that very first album came out, that station was playing If Only, and I was like, I just listened to it over and over and over again. Bought the album. So there aren't any stations like that anymore, though. There are not around here. Like there's not a station that you can go to get the good new cool music.
I don't think there is a station anywhere in the country like that anymore, to be quite honest with you. The radio is the internet has changed everything so much that you kind of that experience is gone. The only thing really I use the radio for anymore is to listen to baseball games. I'd much rather listen to a baseball game than watch it. I would rather just sit and chill and have the radio going and listening to the baseball game. That's just, to me, that's the way to. If you're not going to be there in the park, you should be listening to it on the radio. But that's just... I have a question for you before we get too far off here. I would like to know, since we're talking about music, and I always ask this of people, like especially guys that are musicians, who is your favorite guitar player, Thad? Who would you say is the GOAT of guitar?
I can't say that because...
Give us your top five.
Let's give us your top five.
Top five.
Referring back to that Mike Loud, those are three amazingly creative guitarists, and they got practically nothing to do with each other. Like you cannot compare. Like you can't say, Edge is better than Jimmy Page. Yeah. Worse, they just are completely different. So that's I don't. When people say, "Oh, the number one guitar player is whoever," that tells me, "Oh, you
Steve
have a Stevie Ray Vaughan, he's the ultimate guitar player." He dance a lot. Okay, that's nice. He's dead.
Yes. I think
Prince
is the best guitar player ever.
Range of musical. So, Jerry Cantrell is just one of my all-time favorite musicians. Period. He's an amazing guitar player.
That's the guitar player from Alice in Chains, so everybody knows.
Yeah. He's he's an awesome guitar player. Very much has his own sound and style. Very innovative. Came up like the first time I heard them on college radio station. I was like, whoa!
Right.
This was like. I think that was a whole new thing.
One of my favorite albums of theirs wasn't really a popular one. Was the one with the three-legged dog on the cover, and it came in dude. I love that album. All my friends are like, "That's not Alice in Chains." I'm like, "No, man, that's fucking." I love the guitar in that on that album. I thought it was awesome. So he's an awesome guitar player.
So he's a really amazing singer. Like I've seen him on the solo tours when he was doing and got his solo albums. And I mean, he does all the harmony, but it's just him and Lane. Most of the songs Alice in Chains, it's him and Lane singing.
Okay.
Yeah, he's just doing all the harmony stuff. But the songwriting is just, he wrote 90-something% of all the Alice in Chains stuff. People think that Lane Staley wrote the stuff, but Jerry Cantrell was the writer. So I love him, but I also love Ian MacKaye.
Okay.
Yeah.
Carl Robinson
and I love
says Joe Satriani. Big Squeegee says Phil Keaggy. Philip Alexander says Eric Clapton.
Only because I'd already shot down Stevie Ray Vaughan, I'm sure. But
yeah.
Yes, but another huge favorite of mine is Ian MacKaye. I don't know, Fugazi. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but it's
a few of their tunes, but not too many.
And then and Dr. No from Bad Brains. I mean, this is he does not get. Well, I mean, they invented hardcore music. Like nobody had done that before. Punk rock was just people who couldn't play. It was skinny white kids with rotten teeth who couldn't play yelling. Mm-hmm. It's pretty much what most punk was. And
all these
with
black
Bad
guys showed up and just started laying it fucking down.
originally a jazz fusion band.
Yeah.
And the bass player, Daryl Jennifer, went over to Dr. No's house. She's like, man, check this out. And he played in Black Sabbath and the Ramones and the Sex Pistols. And they were like, and they all three of them, which are pretty wide, but they're like, that's awesome.
Right.
But they can actually play their instruments.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, really well. They're really good musicians, yeah.
Yeah, and so and then the aggression, when HR started singing, I mean the aggression and all that stuff was just so way over the top, but they were also had a very positive message, PMA. So they invented all that. Like they just don't get the credit they deserve, but they are responsible for a large portion of today's music.
Right. So, yeah, that's crazy, man.
That's probably my top 3 favorite bands.
Okay.
Two from D.C., 2 from Washington, D.C., and 1 from Washington State.
I'm sure, Mark's favorite album is most likely a Leonard Skinner album, isn't it, Mark?
No, well, look.
Molly Hatchet, come on.
No, I'm not a huge Molly Hatchet fan. I mean, I'm a big Skinner fan, but I can appreciate, I like musical talent. Like I told you the other day, TJ, I just had my phone streaming in my shop, and early Pearl Jam came on, and I could listen to that all day long. Because it's real music to me.
Right.
It's not made. I love bands that can play live.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to. I don't want all the playing into a computer. All these strange effects. I just want someone that knows how to play. Right. And certain bands, they just grab you. Like I told you before, years ago I saw Peter Frampton and Skinner, and Peter Frampton came on stage, and I'm like, who's this bald guy? And then he grabs a guitar, dude, and everybody is mesmerized. You're just.
I wonder how you feeling.
Yeah. or Kenny Wayne Shepherd.
Yeah.
The guy grabs a guitar, and you're just like mesmerized by what he's doing with it.
Right.
That's the talent that I like.
Yeah.
I just don't like rap and all that. I mean, I love your videos, T, but when there's an underlying rap bass thing going on, I turn the volume down and
my rap I've got the Beastie Boys, Paul's Boutique.
Okay.
You
got to have that one.
And I've got 2 songs by Eminem.
Okay.
So yeah, Lose Yourself. Let's see, what's the other one? Some song where he's making fart noises. That's the 2 songs.
That ranks up in my book.
I think I'm trying to think of what's in my CD player right now.
Lose Yourself and Just Lose It. That's the 2 songs that I've got in my iTunes by.
Yeah, I think it's. I have Mad Season Above in my CD player right now. I think it might be just in there, stuck in there. I can't get it out, but. Everything's different, I don't listen to the same music every day.
You're getting deep now.
What's that?
Deep. I said Mad Season. You're getting deep now. I'm starting to get all fired up.
That's a badass. That was a cool little band he had going there for a hot minute, man. That album, I
I'll
play
get
the
into
shit
that.
out of that album. I don't know why, but I play the shit out of that album. I'm not
Oh,
sure
it's
why. Yeah.
amazing.
Hey.
I don't know if it counts as rap or not, but I also have the Gourds version of Gin and Juice.
That's pretty dope. I like some a lot of shit that Ween does too. I think a lot of their like Ocean Man. I can't get enough of that song, dude. Ocean
Ween?
Man, Ween, Ween.
Ween.
I've
You
never
would
heard
love
that.
you will
Ween.
love them,
Yes,
Mark.
Ween.
You will love
Well,
Ween.
I like the name. The name's
Yeah,
pretty
you
cool.
will love it, dude. It's the
Mark
best.
will absolutely hate Ween.
Who?
He will really, really hate Ween.
So,
I
are
don't
you
know
saying,
why.
Thad, that you love Ween?
I love
we
Ween.
are, there's, and it's not just me, my kids too, man. They're like, there's a real good chance, like, or two of the three, like, they went in deeper than I did. So, like,
Okay.
my son will be doing stuff. I'm like, oh, God, what is that? He's like, oh, that's like it's like a bootleg Ween live,
right.
whatever. I'm like, crazy. I never heard that before.
Yeah. They're a
Wait,
wild
sure.
band.
Imagine what the shirts look like. Ween.
They're awesome. Their shirts are
Yeah.
kick ass. Their album covers. I'm sending you a bunch of Ween and Voxer. You're gonna have to listen. I'm gonna hold you down and force my Ween on you, Mark. It's gonna be great.
Boxer, man. Y'all gotta add, you gotta be on Boxer. That's pretty much like that's the main way that the people that I talk to with any regularity.
Uh-huh.
That's how.
Well, that's
just
all
my
we do. Mark,
That's
and
the only thing that makes
Yeah.
any sense.
yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
Voxer. It's the
I'm
only
like, what's
thing,
wrong
dude.
with you? Talk on the phone? Well, stop it on the phone.
Yeah.
Occasionally, Richie will make the mistake of trying to FaceTime me, and I'll be like, "How dare you try to FaceTime me, dude? You better box me, man."
Chris fake. I mean, we do Boxer a lot, but whenever we do our conference calls for the convention, whenever we have a meeting,
Mhm.
it's FaceTime.
Yes,
Other than
I
that,
agree,
Boxer.
Carl. Ween does great covers. They do great covers, man. Ween does some awesome covers, dude.
And one of the things that I really like too is when it's not a cover, it's an original, but it sounds like the ultimate cover. Like they'll pick a band
Mhm.
and do a song
Like they
that's
do
like,
it.
it's like a song that some other band did and they did it better, but they actually wrote the song. Like
Right.
one of my favorite ones is Gabrielle.
Okay.
Have you heard that one?
Yeah.
That's just Phil Lynott song. Phil Lynott never wrote that song, but he meant to, but he died.
Right. Mark says that Winger rules. Weezer's not a bad band either. They're pretty kick ass. I listened to a little bit of Weezer here, and they got some fresh tunes. Bill, Carl Robinson likes Weezer and Wieners, so he's got that going for him.
Gay bars, Carl. Gay bars.
Gay bars, yeah. So, is there anything that you want to get out before we forget? No, nothing.
Well,
Do
just
you want to plug Jersey's podcast on our podcast? You can do that if you'd like. Check out Jersey's
Who?
podcast. What's his name? Jersey. Check. I can't remember his name. I can't
But,
even remember the guy. What's his name?
if he comment,
Jersey.
Josh, if you comment one more time, I'm going to tell people your real nickname, not the one you made up for yourself. Okay?
Oh, that's so dirty.
Hey, let me ask you your opinion.
Okay.
Okay. And this will be the final ruling. I'm appearing before the tribunal, and your word will be law on this subject, guys.
You want to do this?
Can you give yourself a nickname, or do your friends have to give you a nickname for it to be legit?
Depends where you come from. Yeah. It's kind of narcissistic to give yourself a nickname, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So no, you got to go with what your friends call
Squeegee,
you.
I will attest to this. T Squeegee is not something I came up with. My buddy Derek started calling me T Squeegee, and it just stuck.
Okay.
So
not
it's legitimate.
something- Yeah, it's legit.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's legitimate. I wasn't one day sitting around like, you know what? I'm gonna name myself Jersey. I didn't do that. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, Jersey. He said, "Yeah, buddy." By the way.
Oh, is that another comment? Does that mean let it rip?
Yeah, let it rip.
Yeah, let it
Tell
rip.
you the
I'm from Wisconsin. My name is Jersey. Like,
Right, in Wisconsin.
I got a more appropriate one for you there.
Right.
I gotta do it though.
I'm not gonna do it though. Joseph Skinta asked, "Can we talk about the sim pole?" No, there's nothing to talk about. They're pretty kick ass. I like Philip's sim pole. It's pretty awesome. There you go.
Can I say? The leaps and bounds that Phil has made in the past 10 years are impressive. I can tell you about my sim pole and me on my knees behind a huge project crying. had absolute nervous breakdown.
Jennifer said, "Don't play. You liked Creed back in the day." Come on, Jennifer. I only liked a couple of their songs. Jennifer's on here. My wife is blowing my ass up. She's like, "You used to like Creed." Thad calls me cheese. No, that wasn't one of them, but okay. Hey, Jersey said...
Oh, man, it's touching my soul. Oh, yeah. This whole thing.
Yes! I was going like this the whole time, Thad. My veins were sticking out in my head. I was like, yeah! I had a wife beater on. It was great. I was like, yeah! My blue jeans, my wife beater, my thick-ass fucking Doc Martens soled shoes. I was kicking ass, brother. Jersey says you call him cheese. Cheese. Jersey, cheese. Fucking nation.
He's from Wisconsin. Steve, Wisconsin.
I can tell you what right now. If somebody named me Cheese, I'd be totally down with it. I would be totally down. I would be totally down with being so. If someone's like, "Hey man, your nickname's Cheese," I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, dude, that's rad." You know what I mean? Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. that was totally just off the wall. I didn't mean to do that.
Didn't mean to do what?
I liked Creed. They're a great band. They're like say rad.
I told you, man. That is not a secret. That is way. Way out in the open. I showed you the picture.
Right. Well, I said Thad was rad, and he's like, "So you know about the T-shirts?" And I'm like, "No, I don't. I was just saying it because it rhymed." He's like, "Oh, there's a whole story." I was like, "Oh, well, my bad. Oops." Now it just keeps slipping.
Yeah, I've got the worst friends, man. They bust my balls so hard, so hard.
I mean, but that's what friends are for, isn't it? I mean, in a way, right? Yeah. I mean, so I guess sometimes it could probably be taken to extremes at times.
I agree, and I can't complain because, I have to. I mean, if you're gonna dish it out, you gotta be able to take it, right? I mean, people who can't, they're not our kind of people. So, yeah, but that was oh man, that was brutal. I used to do an event in Pennsylvania with Jack Kramer, pressure washer, and so I walk out. So I'm all stressed out. It's the night before the event. We had like a pre-show party. Had kegs of Yingling, the whole deal. I'm all stressed out. I'm making sure everything's arranged for tomorrow. And I walk out, and there's like 15 people wearing shirts with my face on them about that big. It says that, and to say that is rad. And, the timing could not have been better because it was just like pulling the pin on the grenade. I was like, that was Steve Fishgrun's, my adopted son. That was his brilliant idea, and it was a really terrible picture too. It was really bad.
Allison Hester says she still has her T-shirt. She still has her shirt.
You should hold on to it. It's worth a lot of money.
It's worth a lot of money.
Get her to sign it. Yeah, get it autographed.
That's great.
Yeah, my son really stuck it to old dad on that one.
That's great. Who can, like I said, but
I didn't even get one.
You didn't even get one.
I didn't even. No, he gave them all away. I didn't get one.
There's a couple of Wet 'n Willie t-shirts out there with my face on them in a
Yeah, I
busted
got that
hat.
one.
Yeah, Mark's got one.
Nice.
Luke the window cleaner has one. Well, Rihanna has one, I should say. And who else? My cousin Kirsch has one with my face on it. Hey, what's up, Richie Blue? How are you? Richie's super late to the podcast. Yeah, man. I think the fact that you don't believe in Bigfoot or aliens is kind of, it's kind of putting a damper on the podcast. And
All right. Kicking me off and getting into the good stuff. I got it.
Right? Yeah. No. I mean, you can leave whenever you want. I'm not kicking you off.
Oh, okay.
I'm not kicking you off. I'm not kicking you off at all. Oh, Jersey has a T-shirt. So everyone has a T-shirt except for Thad. That is not rad. Just so you guys know. Allison's planning on converting her Thad is rad T-shirt into a dog bed, which I think is coming full circle. You know what I mean? Do you have any dogs? Do you have any pets?
Like I said, I got the worst friends.
Speaking
Allison
of
was
friends,
the sweetest. Allison was the sweetest, nicest. Was just the country girl.
Mm-hmm.
She's like Phil. She was also I walk around no shoes on when I met her. She's so nice, man. After she's hung out with me for a few years, she throws a zinger hard now.
That's
I
great.
don't know whether proud or sad that I've ruined her delicate innocence. I don't know which one it is.
So do you have it? Hey, do you have any pets?
Just the chicken that you heard earlier.
Just the rooster. Okay. Oh, so you're
No,
not a
I'm
dog
joking.
person.
We got my wife. No, my wife raises Boston Terriers, and we have herds
cool.
of them. Yeah, Boston's running around everywhere. My boy Rex is trying to stick his paw under the door to let me know that he's here for me if I need him. He would rather be here.
Well, the only reason I bring that up is because Jennifer loves dogs, and Mark's dog is always in the background. So I like to ask everyone if they have a dog, because you always hear Mark's dog when the podcast starts. The first 15 minutes, is it Brady?
Yeah, Brady.
Brady's
Yeah,
always
dog.
in the room.
He's a hound dog.
He's always in there whining for Mark to let him
That
out.
dog is always on the wrong side of a door. If he's not crying by the front door, he's crying to get out of the room.
Right.
But I call him the shop inspector because he loves to hang out in the shop with me. Dude, I could be welding and he's just standing there hanging out.
Right.
I'm like, how's that look, buddy? He's the shop inspector. But like I said, he ends up on the wrong side of a door every day, hundreds of times.
Jennifer, the Labradors, Frank, Chuck, and Hazel will, when Jennifer goes to the bathroom, they will all pile up on each other in front of the bathroom door, and they will all fight for dominance on who's the one that gets to sit right next to the door when she comes out.
Yeah.
They want to.
Yeah.
I am me first, and they'll like squabble. They'll go back around
No,
and like in
I love her more.
circles.
No, I love her more.
Right.
No, it's love her the most. She loves.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So,
That's the way my dogs are with my wife. I could be sitting there eating a steak dinner, dropping half of it on the floor, and if my wife walks in the room, I don't exist no more. It's amazing. I'm like, what about me?
Chopped liver.
yeah. There's one. Yeah. Rex. Rex is the only one, and it's WRECKS. Rex, our stud dog. All the rest of them, they are definitely Judy dogs. Like, that's all. They tolerate me. They like me okay when she's not around, but they worship her like a goddess. He's the only one. Like, he's actually my dog. Like, he hangs like anywhere I'm gonna go. He rushes to get in front of me. He's like, I don't know where we're going, but I'm going first. Check it out.
Yeah.
That's cool.
After all these years, I finally have a dog of my own. It's pretty cool.
I mean,
That's
Jennifer is gonna keep buying dogs until she finds ones that likes me. Is what I think is gonna happen. That's just my personal opinion. We have 4 dogs, and we have that little tiny dog. I don't know what kind of dog he is, but he's tiny and he's a little shitbird. They just come in to be petted, and they'll come in and they'll give me a hug and a kiss, and then they'll go away. They just want to be like, oh, hey, are you still alive? We're just checking on you. And
What's up, buddy?
go, yeah.
You're still working, right? You got those checks coming in, right?
Right, yeah. Are we still
Sure,
getting
but
dog
I don't-
food this week?
I don't want to see you hanging around the house too much. You need to be out there
Right.
hustling, okay,
Right.
everybody? All right,
Yeah.
clap 'em, get out there.
So, Thad, when is the huge convention? What are the dates on the huge convention?
August 8th and 9th.
August 8th and 9th. And are
With-
how are rooms sold out in the hotel?
Not yet, but they are going quickly. They're going quickly. Our block is getting close to full. But the thing is that if they're going to come, they're going to hate themselves if they don't. But if they'll go ahead and make reservations now, then once we do sell out of our block, if anybody else, like any cancellations in the hotel, I can pull into our block so we can get the discounted rate, because we get a discounted rate with the hotel. We get,
Oh, that's
you
cool.
know, the concessions there. Yeah. So if people will go ahead and make their reservations now, then I can, if we sell out, I can say, hey, you got to give me more room. You know, there's not a whole lot, but there's some. And then past that, they'll extend that to other hotels that are in a very close proximity and extend that rate out. I mean, when people wait for the last minute, there's just not any deals to be had, you know, especially once we pretty much filled up the hotel. Somebody pops up at the last minute, the room block is full, and the hotel's gonna be like, nah, man, you got to give us full. We want rack rate.
So do you and Chris have the Emperor's package at the Branson Hotel there? Do you guys are staying in the penthouse?
We usually do.
Oh, so you guys are big time, huh? Big time.
Well, you know, something we kind of stumbled into. We stumbled into that, and it's all due to Chris, because the very first one that we did, it was at the Gaylord Opryland. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but the thing is huge. It's 13 acres under glass, and you will just walk your legs off. It's crazy. But anyway, so I got us rooms there, and they upgraded us to a balcony room. Yeah, the room is, it's a tiny room, and it's a tiny little balcony. But man, I was like, I was walking around like, do you have a balcony room? Do you have
I do. Woo!
a balcony room? Because I am a big deal. I've got got 100 people coming to this place, and so we thought I was going to be there. And then, so we were hanging out. Chris was like, "Oh man, this is pretty cool. It's nice to get. How much does this cost?" Like, Chris's job for everything is, "How much does this cost?
Right.
Could we save some money?"
Right.
And so we're sitting there, and we're talking, and he looked, and there was some other, like, you could see a bank of bay windows, and walking back and forth. And he's like, "What's that up there?" Like, I don't know. He's like, "There are people up there." It's like, maybe it's offices or something. He's like, "No, look, because it goes, like, there's a bunch of them." He's like, "They got better rooms."
Right.
He's like, "Next year," yeah. He didn't want to come at that first year anyway. He's like, "Next year, I want one of those rooms." I don't.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't blame him.
So, and it was just a small. So I asked him, I'm like, when we were gonna go there again the second year, like, I kind of hate. I'm awkward bringing this up, but my partner really insists. And they're like, "Oh yeah, sure, we can. You can have those."
Wow.
Oh, okay. And they were just, and there's a million of them. It's just like a if you stayed in an Embassy Suites, it's basically like that.
Right. That's
Something like
kick-ass.
that. And so, we just kept, like, as we got bigger, then they just kept upgrading. So they kind of throttled us back a little bit, though, because the first year we went to National Harbor, we had said, "Hey, we want a suite." We were thinking we'll get just a little 2-room suite. If you're going to be there for a week, it's nice that you can't get one room all the time. It's a little much, especially. And they upgraded us to the bridal suite and a groom suite.
Nice.
Which
that has a bidet.
Which had its own balcony, had their own balcony overlooking the gigantic atrium. I don't know if you're familiar with the Gaylord National, but this instead of a whole bunch of atriums spread out like Nashville, it's one gigantic one overlooking the river. It's amazing.
Oh wow!
Yeah, private balcony, everything. He was like, "You take the big one, I'm taking the small one." Like, it was the Blanc and the Mocha. And Blanc was the bridal suite, and Mocha was the groom suite. So it was like all manly, and he gave me the bridal suite. He he doesn't not go crazy about a bunch of people going through his room.
Right.
Which I'm not either,
Allston,
but at the end.
Allison Hester says that she thinks the convention center hotel only has suites left. She tried to get a room today. The other one still had rooms. So I guess maybe,
Snooze, you lose, Allison.
yeah.
Tough.
Yeah.
But so anyway, they gave us this insane, and yeah, you're talking about a bidet. It was massive. It was like 1,800 square feet, 2 bedrooms, but
The bidet was?
3.
That's a swimming pool.
So it's
That's what you call a
White-
cement pond.
it's white tile. Oh, it had the most amazing shower I've ever seen in my life. It was like the control panel for the Star Trek Enterprise or
Are
something.
you serious?
Yeah,
You serious?
yeah. Like every crevice was done. It had the ceiling was completely mirrored, and there were these white leather chaise lounges everywhere that were immediately dubbed the sex couches. There's like 15 of them.
I would be sitting on them too quickly.
Yeah. Totally
Like,
getting
somebody's
pregnant
like,
if you sit
"Oh."
on that.
Somebody was like, somebody said, anybody got a black light? I'm like, don't you dare.
Yeah.
Don't you dare. So Chris thought it would be funny at the end of the trade show to announce and the after party is that he announced my room number.
Mhm. Oh,
And
no.
yeah, and I'm telling you, when I say I got the worst friends, I mean I really got the worst friends.
That's awesome, though.
At 6 o'clock the next morning, I was pushing around a 55-gallon trash can, and I filled it up with bottles,
Oh,
not beer bottles.
oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, it was real.
That's never good. That's never good.
So they throttled us back on the sweets after.
Yeah.
Like, not so much, guys. Not so much.
Y'all spent a lot of money there if you had that many bottles, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
Some
I'm sure
high
they went-
rollers. Some high rollers. At
Yeah.
our convention, we drink Busch Light in cans. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We keep
yeah,
it old
yeah.
school.
Yeah.
Sorry. We have pulled
But-
pork and Busch Light in cans. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, and whatever's in the
We're-
soda machine.
Yeah, whatever's in the soda machine. If you want a bag of chips, you better hope they got a snack machine because we are
Yeah.
running low on funds.
So Thad, we didn't really go over this too much because this has been all over the place. What would
TJ
one?
keeps just going all over. It keeps going off the reservation and over
That's what I
the
like
over
to
the
do.
hill
That's
constantly.
what.
I like
That's
to
the
do.
nice thing about it. That's the nice thing about it. So, when someone shows up to the convention, what can they expect to experience?
First of all, unless you've been to one of our conventions before, you've never been in a room with that many people who do the same thing that you do.
Right.
Yeah.
And it can be kind of overwhelming. And sometimes people, especially, I mean, if you're naturally shy or something like that. So, the cool thing is that just about everybody there is super, super friendly. So, yeah, don't be shy. Get in. If there's a group of people talking, they probably just met each other too. It's not like they've been friends for years and you're excluded. So you see some people talking, you overhear something sounds good, walk up, stand there. Just you'll get in the conversation, you'll be fine. So that you're going to experience more people who do your type business and understand what you do every day than you've ever seen before in your life.
Yeah.
The classes are going to be about being successful in your business. Oh,
No.
Froze up.
Where's that? He said, "Oh," and then that was it. So, yeah. So what did you do today, Mark?
I got my. Uh-oh. That's what I did. Where's that 13-second one?
That was such a good one. I need to start, and we need to figure out a way to start like taking those and saving them so we have them. You know what I mean? So the personal conversations don't get played on there, and we could just play the farts on command. I
I
know
think we got hours. We got hours of farts
Yeah,
by
we got
now.
hours of farts. We could make an epic dialogue with farts if we wanted to. I don't know if we lost that or not, guys, but AOL is a motherfucker
Yeah.
in Mississippi, so Um, yeah, you were saying earlier that you're working on your bike, which means
Yeah, I got the motor back in. Everything's hooked up. I got to get. I've got to put oil and coolant in it, and I'll give it a test run, test start it up, and then finish assembling about 4 more hours of the bike. The motor's in. You have to take half the bike
so
apart to
the
get the motor.
the girls weekend at the campground did not have a side by side at it.
Nope. Nope.
Okay,
No. No.
were there
No.
four wheelers?
Yeah, they brought the
And
bikes instead.
they did all right with them. They're not
Yeah.
bikes. They're fucking
Yeah.
four wheelers, Mark.
Yeah, they brought the four wheelers.
Thank you
So
for doing
they're
that.
fine with that. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
fine
they
with
did
that.
okay.
So.
Nothing blew up.
No, they didn't tear nothing up this time.
Well,
Oh
what
my
I
God.
like it. They it sounds like the girls have a lot of fun. It sounds like they have
Yeah.
fun. Your
Look,
wife
look.
seems like she's a lot of fun. Like she likes to
She
have a
is.
good time.
She'll do anything. I mean, she's really into, um, the camping, and then she's into like these fitness things, like where you run up a net and carry a weight
The
and
mud
shit like
runs.
that. Yeah, stuff like she does that. So I mean, look, she supports me with what I do, so I support her with
Yeah,
what she does.
of course.
I think it's going to be a while before there's another girls' weekend, quite honestly, because this set us back. By the time it's done, oh god, yeah, a 2-year-old bike that's worth scrap metal really sucks.
Yeah, Jennifer's a lot more fun than I am. You know what I mean? I got to be honest.
Oh,
I'm a stick in the mud
I could
compared
see
to Jennifer.
I could see Jennifer would be a blast. I think both of you would be a blast. And my wife has made mention. Well, if TJ ever comes down here, I'm like, well, yeah, we need to go to the Keys or something. She goes, we need to take that man to camp because he
Yeah.
will have a blast. I said,
Yeah.
well, we'll do a little bit of everything.
I think I would. Well, I have to take her. Somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And she's kind of giving me the okay that we can go see Mark and Mrs. Tanner. She said we could do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
man.
That
We will
that
have a
would
blast.
I think that would be. I would have much more fun hanging out with you guys in your element than I would going. I mean, I'm not saying that I wouldn't like to go to the Keys, but that means I may have to get on an airplane, and I'm fucking not feeling that.
Well, from my
at
house
all.
to the Keys, we drive. Once you're here, you're
Yeah.
here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, the nice thing about Florida is that if you want to go to the beach, you can be there in 20 minutes from my house. If you want to go to Orlando, it's 100 miles, and you want to see the parks. I mean, you have the parks too.
Right.
If you want to just go relax on the beach in the Keys, you have that. We have a little bit of everything. If you want to go out in the woods, we have that too. Or if you
cool.
want to be stuck in a big urban city where you're just annoyed because people don't know how to drive, we have that too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But as I said, I'm experiencing more as I've traveled over the last few years because I never really went anywhere. But like I've said, the market in South Florida.
Mrs. Tanner was like, "Thank you for taking Mark. He doesn't go anywhere. He's a homebody."
Yeah.
She goes,
Yeah,
"I'm
dude,
trying
my
to get
wife-
him to go places."
Yeah, I mean, but you know what, dude? I enjoy just being at home. I really
Right.
do.
I do too, man. I can't.
I don't
help
like to
myself.
work weekends. I like to enjoy, mowing my grass or working in my shop or putting something together. I'm simple when it comes to that. I don't need.
Well, when we were at my 40th birthday party, I was told I would like to go home.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
like to go home. You're like, what are
Yeah.
you gonna do? I was like, if you leave, I'm going home.
Yeah. Well, it's like you
I'm
said,
going home.
we're gonna have pizza or meatloaf. Well, I know you're not buying a meatloaf at the store,
Right.
So I'd rather have something that you're cooking versus something someone else had to handle.
Though that was you dropped. That's yes. I'm sorry, I haven't sent it yet. My bad, dude.
It's all right. It's all right.
My bad.
someday
I'll do it.
it's all
I'm
good.
gonna do it tonight. When we get off
All
here,
good.
I'll send it to you. My bad.
Like I
dude.
said, it's no rush, but I mean, your meatloaf was amazing. And,
He's
Yeah,
like,
well, you know
he's
how
like,
you look for
listen, dickhead, I've asked you twice and you still. I'll get it to you. I'm sorry.
it's all
Mike.
good. Look, it's like one time we went on this quest. I told my wife, I said, go on the internet and figure out how to make like the ultimate macaroni and cheese. And it took like 5 recipes to come up with one that she has that is like 1,000 calories a serving. It's just freaking amazing.
It sounds to me like the meatloaf, my meatloaf, and your wife's macaroni and cheese will go hand in hand. They will they will become one.
Yeah, like, see, my wife is very health conscious. So like she tried to sneak this turkey in as meatloaf one time,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, that's a door stopper. That's not a meatloaf. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It just tastes like nothing.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, we gotta. I go,
Come on.
if you yeah, you take these recipes from the internet,
Mm.
you gotta raise
Doctor
them
him
up
up a
because
little
they're
bit.
bland.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just
Bill
bland, but
Jordan. Why is Tim Poe on the sidelines? Is he okay? Yeah, Tim is fine. Tim just decided that he wanted to focus on other things. So,
yeah, Tim's
you know,
Tim Tim's welcome to join in whenever he wants.
anytime he wants. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Everybody wants to see turmoil. There's no turmoil,
no
you know.
turmoil. Yeah. There's
You know.
nothing bad's going on. He just decided he wanted to go in another direction. And focus on other things on his YouTube channel and shit. And the time that he was setting aside for this was time he used to set aside for doing videos and shit or something. I don't know. You'd have to ask him, but everything's all good. It's all good. You know what I mean? Me and Mark are just gonna plot forward. We like doing the show, and we know you guys like doing the show, or us doing the show, because you guys were sweating us the whole time we weren't doing the show. So we were like, well, we should definitely come back. So we came back, and
Yeah. No, look,
you know,
we're going to be looking to bring in some interesting guests.
yeah, like
Um,
Casper
as
this Wednesday.
yeah, we got Casper coming on Wednesday. That's going to be
Don't miss
really
that
fun.
one. Don't miss that one.
Yeah. No, you never know where it's going to go.
Yeah, yeah, and as far as we might just have a revolving door of maybe we'll have Rob Peloso on when he's not. Maybe he can anchor shows with us every now and then when he's not cleaning windows, or Seth Byers naturally. You know what I mean? We just revolve guests. You know what I mean? Have guys sit in with us while we do interviews. We'll just we'll try to keep it as fresh as we can and keep, this show, like when we do interviews, like, having Thad on, when we have guests on, I'd rather talk to them instead of kind of do the Bigfoot moments and, talk about this and talking about that. And, sometimes you got to focus on why that person's here and what they want to talk about, and let the audience get to know that person, and then, go from there. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
we'll get back to the framework that we talked about. Like you guys, the first show we did was just me and Mark. It'll probably, most likely, when it is me and Mark, be along those lines. You know what I'm saying? So, we have like an idea what we want to do. We want to kind of like do window cleaning news and shit like that. So, like, for instance, the events that happened Friday on Facebook, we probably would have talked about them tonight if it wasn't that we had a guest on. So, we probably would have poked fun, and we would have probably talked about quite a few things that go on Facebook, or new tool that's coming out, or fucking Mark burnt a hot dog that looks like a penis now, just whatever. We're
That
but
thing
we
was
just
next level, dude.
but we just we
I gotta-
we that was perfect. Yeah, I would just. And it was in all the photos with Aunt Tammy. Mark's got that fucking hot dog in his hand. And I didn't notice it until after all the photos were over. And I'm looking at the photos. She's like, you got to send me that one. I'm like, why? He goes, look at it real close. And I'm like, dude. He's like, oh, yeah. He goes, she even acknowledged it as a prop in someone else's photo. I'm like, really? He's like, oh, yeah. I was like, Jesus.
Me and Jason Snyder were laughing so hard when we put it in the pan with the other hot dogs.
Yeah.
Right on the top for everybody.
You and Jason, Jesus.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
was
know.
good.
That was a good time, though. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
The show is just gonna be what the show's gonna be, and we're just gonna go with the flow. You know what I mean? I know we said every Sunday. The credits say every Sunday, but we've been like, since we come back, it's been Wednesday, Sunday, and now another Wednesday. But that's just because, again, if we have a guest or someone that wants to come on and Wednesday works for them, we're gonna make sure to do. We want the people like Thad. I wanted Thad on the show. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, I can do it Sunday. So we had Thad on the show. And then Casper's like, well, I would like to do the show. I'm in the States. What can we do? And I wasn't sure if Thad was going to be able to make it or not. And then finally he was like, yeah, I'm definitely in. I was like, cool. So I was like, well, let's do Wednesday then. And because Casper's going to be out of town after Wednesday, so we're going to do the Wednesday night show for Casper, because who doesn't want to see and view the Casper and all his rubber.
Rubber.
We're gonna talk
Yeah,
about
Casper's
rubber.
interesting.
Black
He's got a
Diamond.
lot to offer. He's a very smart guy.
Yes.
And
Yes.
look, and that just shows that we're flexible. So if
Yeah.
you think we're only going to bring you on a Sunday if you got something interesting to talk about, we'll do it other days. You know, nothing's in stone. We're
Right.
going to wing it and see where it goes. You know.
There's not a lot. There's not a lot that we're not. There's only a few people that were just like a little. A little difficult to wrangle down, but I mean, for the most part, when somebody says that they want to come on, I mean, I think we do pretty good getting people on here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
And we like to, and again, that's what the podcast, like, I want to tell you guys, the podcast, it's hard for me to add people to the podcast page on Facebook, but it's the Squeegee Life podcast page. If you guys want to find it, it's go like the Squeegee Life page, and then it should, there's a group connected to that, and that's pretty much, of course, and that's another thing, we will pull and talk about things. That's why I've been posting videos, not even about window cleaning, just whatever, just shit I find interesting, or whatever. That's what that page is for. It gives us all something to talk about. If you have a question you would like to have asked, or a guest suggestion, or something you saw on the internet that you'd like to know our take on it, just post it in there. And let us draw it to our attention. Tag me and Mark in there.
Or something huge happens in the window cleaning world, and
Yeah.
we might even do a different day just to get it.
Yeah.
I mean, not something that's been beat to death.
Right, of course.
The situation that happened a few days ago was
beat to death.
Yeah, it was beat to death. And look, for you guys that don't understand the way manufacturing works, there is no window cleaning tool supplier that owns the equipment to make poles, owns the equipment to make handles, channels, any of that stuff. You'd never make your return on investment for the equipment.
Unless it's a patented design, it's pretty much open season. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I understood. Again, I don't. You could see I got their sticker behind me. I'm not hating on the dude or whatever. You know what I mean? I just didn't like some of the things that were said. You know what I mean? So, that's why I went where I went with it. They both seemed to express the fact that they liked for it to go away. I mean, the first video, the one that Tom posted, was a little weird. Like, I'm sorry, and then I'm gonna shit on you, and then I'm sorry, and then I'm gonna shit on you. That was a little weird, but
yeah.
But at the end of it, it seemed like he was content with what he said, and that he was at peace.
It seems sincere enough to move on.
To move on.
Yeah.
And then Philip posted what he posted and seemed very sincere about moving past it. So, that's all that you can ask for. You know what I mean? There seemed to be no malcontent or, devious things going on. So, only the future will tell if that to be so or not. So, all you can do is take a man at his word. Tom Tumoth and Trevor Shamblin were pretty gracious in the Pure Water Power giveaway that we did. That was very nice of them.
Sure.
So, they seem like genuine dudes, and that's that. And we all know who Philip is. Philip's one of a kind. You know what I mean? And anyone that's bought any of Philip's products, like me and Jason or anyone else that's using like his trad pole, they know what kind of product Philip puts out. Philip is a little rough around the edges, but he makes a hell of a product. He's put a little bit of thought into it. He makes a hell of a product. So
there's nobody putting out products that has his experience. Whether you agree or disagree with the way he does things, the man has on the glass experience more than sometimes 2 to 3 people combined. So
his videos, some of the things he does now at an older age are kind of questionable, like spraying water on glass with a pump-up sprayer. You know what I mean? Oh, this fucking guy, Thad, came back like
we're done with you, sir.
Over the show.
The convention's over.
Does whatever. Yeah. What's up, Thad? What happened, man?
My jetpack just powered down for some random reason. Not sure, but but I have been following, so I don't want to interrupt your flow. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. No, you're good. You don't have to go anywhere. I don't want you to go anywhere. But I just, so everyone knows that all of that stuff all of that, to me, in my personal opinion, it's all good now. That's the way I feel about it. I don't think there's any need to whack that horse over the head or anymore and beat it anymore with a stick. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. It was, of course, Philip's heart probably sank when he saw that video. I mean, his heart probably sank. He was like, "Oh no," you know what I mean? And he may have jumped to a conclusion, and then a lot of people did. They were like, "Yo, what the fuck?" You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's just a misunderstanding. It's all good. It's all good in the hood now, as we white trash people say from Ohio. It's all good in the hood. So that's great.
I'm pretty impressed about the way that was all resolved. Like
Yeah, yeah,
two grown men acting like grown men, saying, "Hey, you know what? I got hot, made a mistake. You know,
That's
I
right.
meant some of it, but I said even the things I did mean, I said the wrong way. And I mean,
right. I could, yeah. That's to me what Tom did. I thought that was very big of him. The way he. I mean, again, he still dug a little bit, but he was like, "Hey, I'm frustrated with the situation, but I can be diplomatic about this," and that's
But
cool.
I'm a man, I'm a man, and I'm going to react to something that's said. I mean, so at the end of the day, I think everybody can move forward, and people are going to buy what they're going to buy. Good, better, or indifferent. Look, what I like might not be for your taste. It's all good.
Right.
So
It is.
I mean,
Yeah.
that could be a whole show. Like why do you buy the water-fed pole that you buy, or why should you buy the one you want to? And like, I mean, I started out using aluminum Tucker poles.
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
Like first carbon fiber pole. Like the what now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it costs more than my house. Okay.
Yeah.
People have, like, we're Mark and I are old, and we're like, you whippersnappers don't know how good you got it.
I've got a fucking 18-foot long fiberglass fucking pole on the side of my barn. I posted pictures of in the podcast group today. And that's collapsed. That's collapsed length. You had to have an extra long ladder rack just to carry that fucking thing around. And it took like 7 grown men and an ox to stand it up against the building.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got 2 fiberglass XLs. I got, I think, an 18 and I got a 20 and a 28 fiberglass XL that I got from Sean way back in the day. But the thing is, with the hot water pit poles, I think that the video, they're for a large part they're similar. I mean, the sections anyway. The difference is there's 2 differences: the clamps and the person that you buy it from. And I mean, people want to jump all around trying to save $1, but if you find a distributor that you get along well with, because most of them, almost all of them, are good. They are.
Yeah.
Some. There's a slight variance in. One might have a little better customer service. One might have a little bit lower price. But pick somebody and stick with them and develop a relationship. And you buy your stuff from them, and they'll take care of you. Now, if they're not taking care of you, then
of course,
move on. But
for the most part, they're all the same. The specs, like wall thickness and clamps and shit, that all might be different, and that's all personal preference. There's only a few clamps out there that are horse shit. You know what I mean? Some of them are on cheap at poles. Those fucking clamps fucking suck. Donkey dong. Sorry, Thad.
No, it's fine.
I don't mean to be all controversial on the podcast, but those clamps blow goats. Not a fan. Now, when the first Mini that I got, the clamps, I still have original clamps on it. They still work good, but when he changed them to all black clamps, there's something happened there, and I kept telling him, like, these clamps are different. He's like, no, they're not. I'm like, dude, they're different, man, because I'm having to fucking adjust them constantly, and I'm tired of it. Now my old yellow ones, them fuckers, I got them cinched and they're good, but whatever.
Just don't pinch your hand in that. Don't pinch your hand in that with that
triangle. Yeah.
Oh my God! Yeah, the little triangle cut out.
Yeah.
Right in the web of your thumb.
That makes me sick right there, dude. I've done that twice.
And that maybe takes a nice little triangle divot out of the web of your thumb.
Did you ever notice? You ever notice though, the pole never spins when it's collapsed, even if you don't have those triangles. Right. They put the triangles. They only work when it's collapsed, and I've never had my pole spins when it's up. for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Those aero locks are doing nothing. I've got one that I'm gonna finally put Phil's clamps on one of my pros, because all of a sudden I brought it out, put it in the bed of my truck. We've had a lot of rain lately, and I can't even adjust them because they're the clamps that has that spring in there. Everything is rusting. So the stainless is not stainless, because stainless theoretically doesn't rust. So you can't even adjust them. You know, I'm like, the whole thing is turning. And I'm like, you're out of here as soon as I get 10 minutes spare time, change out the clamps.
Have either of you guys heard of Bark.com? They keep emailing me with jobs to sub my business, but the money sounds too low. He says, how much is commercial 46 panes in and out plus 6 canopies? They said $150. I said, no way. I say you're correct in saying no way.
Well, if you're going to work for a national service organization, that's probably what it is. Plan to work for less money. Plan to wait to get paid. As a matter of fact, I got a RF
90 for that check, dude.
I got a RFP from Nest, and I don't really work for these guys. And it was a Forever 21, which is like, I guess, a clothing store, and there was 6 windows on that you could hand reach, 6 transoms that you needed to pull, and then it had an aluminum, we call them an eyebrow. It's kind of common now, but they're putting these sunshades, and then another 6 windows on top, so you had to climb on the eyebrow. And then I flipped the page over. I'm looking at this job, and it says, the next page says, the service we want is once a month or twice a month the low glass, once a month the interior low glass, quarterly the upper glass, and quarterly above that awning, right? And it says, for this we will pay $25 a cleaning. And I'm like, now you're pricing it. Before they used to take your price. Now they're telling you how much they're going to pay.
The only time a national service provider asks you to give them pricing is because they haven't even seen the property yet.
Yeah.
I get that. They're like, oh yeah, we want this thing. Could you go? Could you go and could you price this, and could you give us the pane count, and could you take pictures?
I do one for someone that they're like, they send me NTEs. They're like, they send me an NTE for a bank, and it's like not to exceed $500, and it's like 10 windows inside and out, and I'm like, $500. This is $450 worth of work. I'm gonna be here for all month. You know? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But
companies have gone to that though.
Yeah, most of them don't even fucking know what they're subbing out. You know what I mean? $25 seems like quite a not very good money.
No.
Richie has an important question for the podcast. Richie, ask your question. Richie Blue, we're running out of time here. We're running out of time. You need to ask your question. But Thad, before we do go, because we're reaching the 2 hour limit, I would like to know, so you could tell all of our listeners, where can they go and find out information about the huge convention? Where do they go to get that done?
Thehugeconvention.com. Okay. All of the information and that you would possibly need and more is there. When you go to the homepage, there is a video there. I suggest clicking on that. That is an overview of last year in Atlanta, kind of give you an idea of what's going on. Why is that funny?
Richie said he forgot his question because Mark was talking too fucking long, so forget it.
All right, Richie Brown.
Richie Brown. Okay, Richie Brown.
Yeah, what I love is the people who go. So the hotel information is there, the links, the phone numbers. You can get tickets. Oh, go ahead and get your tickets too. We extended the spring special past the end of May, just to squeeze some more people in, because I'd much rather people buy them cheap way ahead of time than pay full price at the last minute. So, but that is actually going to go away. So if you want to save some money, go ahead and do that.
I don't have to worry because I've got 10 fucking tickets to the huge convention. Chris Ritchie doesn't want his. I want a piece of paper. Fuck you then. You ain't gotta have them there.
There's no piece of paper, man.
There is no piece of paper.
There's no paper any. There's no, the show guide is on, everything's on, I mean, not the show guide, but like the schedule, everything's online, but it's all on the website. I love the people who find the website, scroll through the website, scroll past all the information, find the contact us, and send an email saying, please give me some information about
Hey,
Like,
hi, it's Joe Customer here. Thad, could you tell me where can I go for all this information on the huge convention? I'm emailing you from the huge convention email page. Can you please tell me where the information is? Thad,
Yeah.
can you fly to my house and work my browser for me?
Yeah.
Can you run the clicker on my computer, please?
we get several of those a week.
That's
Please
great.
send more information. So it's all there now. But honestly, though, if there's something you can't find, shoot a message. You can go to the Huge Convention page.
Okay.
And if you could give it a like, I'd appreciate it. That'll keep you up to date on all the cool stuff. So go to the Huge Convention Facebook page, like it,
Give it a like, guys.
If you really do, if you need help, shoot a message on there. Hey, I know it's there. I can't find it, or whatever. Shoot a message onto that page, and it will get handled expediently.
Awesome. Well,
Awesome.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thad, we appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us and
Sorry
shooting the
about
breeze,
that.
talking music. Oh, that's fine. That was fine. I got to address a few things that people were asking in the comments there that did not pertain to this podcast with you, so that was good. And we appreciate having you on. And again, guys, you go to the hugeconvention.com and check out all the information there, and go to the Facebook page, give it a like, and go and network and see a trade show and take some classes, and just try not to drink a 55-gallon drum full of liquor while you're there, and you might retain some knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
we will,
Look, thanks guys for having me on. I
yeah,
had a
no
blast.
problem.
It was so
We-
much fun.
We will.
Yeah.
We would love to have you back on again, and maybe after the huge convention, sometime you could tell us how it all went, and maybe we'll have you on to tell us where it's going to be next.
Hey, anytime, man.
Awesome.
You need I know you couldn't find anybody good this week, so you had to settle.
Anytime we're scraping the bottom of the barrel, we can get a hold of Thad.
Even like when you get in the corners around the edge of the barrel, and you're just coming up dry.
Yeah.
Well, I would just like a special shout out to Chris Lambrinides. You can kiss our ass. His internet worked absolutely fabulous.
Later, guys.
Later, man. We'll see you guys Wednesday. At 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Casper Shoring from Black Diamond Rubber. That's a podcast we've been looking forward to for a long time, so mark that down on your calendars, guys. We will see you guys then. Peace out.
Peace. Be safe.